You're such an asshole.
It was only 3 days ago I did all these video requests, and now it's good to have employment. Good to have employment. I was just like, whoa, what's going on? All right. It's 11:08. I haven't even changed out of my pajamas. All right. This was a video response I did, and it ended up getting flagged because it was misinformation. I'm like, oh, that's not Orwellian. So we're going to chat about toe fungus. Okay. Toe fungus. It's a very big pandemic happening across America with the toe fungus. So I'm going to give some advice to this guy, and we're going to talk about toe fungus and nothing else. I'm writing you to the day after having a heated argument over the phone with my dad. Actually, it was more of a one-sided shouting match as he lectured me about how important it is to take COVID, this toe fungus vaccine, after I told him I did not sign up. He was telling me how selfish people are who are not getting the toe fungus cure, and about how they have no common sense. I guess this includes me, and it is my fault if the toe fungus continues to linger on. We cannot seem to have a conversation without him bringing up this topic several times. At work the other day, we had a meeting, and the boss asked each person if they had the toe fungus shot. I said no, but did not say whether I planned to get it or not. He said to let him know when we plan to get it in case he needs to schedule a day off. One guy in the group is hesitant to get the toe fungus thing, and a couple other coworkers are pressuring him to get it done. The media seems to have a lot of people convinced that if you do not get the anti-toe fungus thing, you are to blame if the toe fungus continues to linger on. So anyway, how would Cappy deal with this? Lie, state your case against it, tell it it's none of your business, some other approach. I am thinking that family and coworkers will require separate approaches as being critical of the toe fungus cure in front of my leftist coworkers would be well received as saying one voted for Trump. All right, here's what you do. And I already tried to do a video on this, and you and your father had some. All right, look, your old man is an old man. He's stubborn. He ain't changing. He's on his way out. Okay. That's how he's going to be. His trajectory is set. Don't bother arguing with him. And you should not bother arguing with leftists or just generally people who are ideologues. Because the definition of an ideologue is someone who subscribes to the ideology above reality. I mean, I don't know how many times you got to point out Democrats and communists and socialists and leftists like, you've kind of killed more people than war has with your free crap ideology. Feminism is another perfect example where it's like women are somehow noble or better than men, or there's something special. It's like, no, you're pretty common. You're half the population. 100 billion of you have existed. And no, the other half is not oppressing you. They're not. No, they're not. And so you're not going to convince an ideologue or a fanatic or a cultist to abandon the cult because they didn't subscribe to the cult or the ideology because of reason and evidence or logic. They did it for ulterior motives, normally, so they had some kind of value and meaning without actually having to work. Like vegetarians. I'm a vegetarian. Or pacifists. Oh, that's my favorite. That's like the most shallow, hypocritical. I'm for peace. Really? I bet you're against kids suffering too. I bet you're against cancer. What other brave stances do you take? I just don't eat meat. Good for you. Shut up. So you're not going to convince your dad. You're not going to convince coworkers. And so what you should do, according to YouTube, is get the toe fungus vaccine. That's what you should do. Other people, not me, not advocating this, because I don't like, oh, I'm sorry, Massa. Did I say something that upsetted the YouTube senses with the purple hairs and the pierced noses? Some other people who are wrong and should not do this, absolutely wrong, would just say, tell them what they want to hear. That's what those other bad people would say, is tell them why they lie. That's what they would say. Oh, yes, I got the toe fungus vaccine. Yes, I did. Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure I did. Yep. I did get that. And you know what? Because you have this desire, which I understand. I had a client, a cute redhead, by the way, overseas, facing a similar situation where there was this ideological, philosophical argument like, but I don't believe it. It doesn't matter. These people are gone. You all got to realize 90% of the human population does not think. They are not human. They are robots. They're executing on programming they got starting in kindergarten, if not preschool, all the way through college. There are very few genuine, real humans existing. And your dad is not one of them. And your coworkers are not them either. And your boss is not. You really got to look at them. I hate to argue for solipsism, but you really do have to view the rest of the world as NPCs, because that's what they are. I'm not kidding. 90% of the people might as well not even be alive, because they're going to watch the Jerry Springer, and they're going to watch their telenovas. They're going to eat, and they're going to get fat, and then, just go to South Dakota. You'll see a bunch of worthless people. Like, oh, this is what I moved into. Well, at least you guys aren't rioting, I guess. Just, oh yeah, I did get the toe fungus cure. I did. Yes. Yeah. No, it's all good. And other people who are wrong would say to lie, so to make the peace. But that's not what I'm advocating on this. I think everyone should get the toe fungus cure. Everyone should absolutely go get that toe fungus cure. And what else stupid things does the dictatorate tell us to say? You're all oppressed, and you are also all oppressors. And what else? You all should go to college, follow your heart. The money will follow. Don't, when you're turning left with a left signal, you're waiting for cars to go by, stay at the beginning of the intersection. Don't go out so that 2 or 3 other cars might get through. Nope. Be a grade A weapons grade dickhead and stay there, and don't move your ass out into the turn lane and other such things. So hopefully that answered your question. See if there's any super chats here. There is. James for $5. Besides the mountains and weather, what were the main differences you saw visiting Sioux Falls or Rapid City? Oh, the completely different towns. Which seems best for white collar work? Well, okay. Sioux Falls is bigger. Sioux Falls is the main central hub, which is all farming, agriculture, livestock, cattle, hogs. That's the financial center of South Dakota. There's nothing there. There's some falls, Sioux Falls, obviously, and there's like a river that goes through it, but there's nothing in Sioux Falls. Now, I like Sioux Falls. I'm not against Sioux Falls. They have a great cigar and lounge. It's a tidy little town. It's very much like Fargo, North Dakota. It's like a town of maybe 70,000, 80,000 people. But it's, you all think, oh, South Dakota must be this wonderful haven. No, 90% of the state is flatter than your 7th grade girlfriend. It's flat. There's nothing. Oh, there's the Missouri River, back to flatness. And it's not until you get to a town called Murdo, and even beyond that, I think I got to get to Belvedere. Atham looked that up. Do you even start to see way off in the distance, further removed from the interstate, the Badlands? And there's some Indian reservations over there, and they actually have they got a nice spread. Actually, it's kind of like, oh, this is very pretty over here. But it's not until you get to literally Rapid City, or at least Box Elder. And if you look at the mile markers, it's 56 miles to the other side of the Wyoming border. It is mile marker 56. So there's only 56 miles. This small little piece of South Dakota actually has a small mountain range called the Black Hills. And it's not majestic. It's not craggedy Rocky Mountains in Colorado. It's not the Canadian Rockies or Glacier National Park or even the Bighorns. But I like it because it only goes up to 7,000 feet, and my flatlander ass still gets enough oxygen up there. You know, you hang out with people in Colorado. One, Denver's at 5,600 feet, Mile High City. So they're already acclimated. They can go up 14ers, no problem. 13,000 foot peaks, 14,000 foot peaks, they're perfectly fine. Trust you me, you come from the coast, West Coast, East Coast, doesn't matter. You go up in the mountains, you're going to die. I even have a buddy, my buddy Richard, black guy, can't swim. Don't know why. He got ill. Not even climbing a mountain. He got ill being in Denver because there wasn't enough oxygen. Then he was foolish enough to go up Pikes Peak, I think it was. And he had to hand over the keys to his wife because it's like, oh my God, I feel horrible. And I'm like, yeah, that's Flatlanders. No, it's so I'm very appreciative of the relatively low altitude of the Black Hills. So it's still majestic. There's still rocks, craggedy. It looks very nice. It's very great hiking. A lot of canyons. But Rapid City is way more beautiful than Sioux Falls because you actually have some mountains. Sioux Falls is just a flat piece of land. There's an Air Force base. There's an airport. There's some buildings. There's some gas stations. There's a place called Alligators, which is a great place to stop off the highway if you want. Coming from Minnesota, you can like, hey, I'll give the hot governor some money instead of our piece of shit douchebag teacher, fake army guy, Tim Waltz governor money. But yeah, Sioux Falls is completely different world than Rapid City. Rapid City is probably your first genuine Western town you're going to get to if you're travel across the United States to the West. Sioux Falls is just, there's nothing going on there. It's a great place to raise a family. If you're milky toast, Wonder Bread white people, yeah, go there. Ooh, we got our whatever it is, baseball and hockey. It's a very boring, safe place to raise children. But there ain't no culture there. There's no hot nightclubs. There is a good cigar lounge, and they do have a Brazilian all-you-can-eat meat buffet. That was really good. But there's nothing there. I mean, it's kind of like Milwaukee without any architecture or culture at all, or beer, or Harley, or Briggs and Stratton. So for white collar work, yeah, Sioux Falls, there's a data center, there's a financial center. I forgot to mention that. It's not just agriculture. They've diversified, taking a lot of business out of Minnesota because we don't like our fucking buildings burnt down, but reasons. But yeah, I mean, that's where you'll find work. But man, Sioux Falls sucks. I just wouldn't. I'd rather live in Mankato or Duluth or, Calumet, Indiana. There's at least something going on. Holy shit. Why the super chats now, guys? Fred Freeman saw a buck, a super sticker. I don't know what it is. Is it Mexican poops? Are you taking over for Atham? Blue Orion, $5. I just got laid off with severance. Thanks to you, I am going to the Badlands and hike. There you, hey, Blue. Now's the time to go, man, because it's cheap housing, cheap hotels. The kids aren't out of school. There ain't no traffic. Now is the time to go. Now, hang on. Let's take a look at the weather. Interior, South Dakota. Oh, it's a little cold out there. All right, 40s. If you wait till the weekend, it's going to get up to the 50s. Yeah, that's good hiking. That's perfect weather for hiking, like high 50s, low 60s. It still is a northern state, so it is going to be cold. But yeah, man, go out to the Badlands. It's great, just great. What I would recommend you do is go to Sage Creek, which is on the far west side of the park. You're going to have to go on a dirt road. And then I would just hike straight across to the Kanata Basin. Now, if you got two people, park a car at the Kanata Basin, all right? And then you drive the other car to Sage Creek, and then you hike straight across. I think it's 16 miles, but it's worth it. And it's not hilly or anything like that. You're just going through you're going to go right through the guts of Badlands National Park. And It's beautiful. Very, very wonderful out there. I enjoyed that hike. One of my best hikes. Ryan Annis for $10. Mandatory. You're wrong about this and you should feel bad. Disclaimer beneath video inbound. Have some muni to compensate for the demoralization. What did it? Perfectly acceptable. All right. Thanks, I guess. Mandatory. You're wrong. It's perfectly acceptable. Hang on. All right. Trying to find out. All right. Good. Fred Freeman Saul, $5. You ever think about husbands of liberal wife politicians? Is there a lot of liberal wife politicians? I mean, I know there's Nancy Pelosi, but she married for money because she's a whore. And she is. That's not an opinion. Look it up. Like, why do they take it? Those women are so nasty and masculine. How can Bill Clinton smile? Because Bill Clinton was getting play on the side. And all you girls love it. Hey, shut up. Shut up. Anytime like, oh, that was grape. That was sexual harassment. Like, did you like Bill Clinton? You did? Shut the fuck up. Here's a big case ordered from Milwaukee of shut the fuck up. Well, I just presume they're getting it on the side. Bill Clinton, obviously. But the more Bill Clinton's old. I'm surprised he's still alive. Didn't he like bypass? Liberal wife politicians. I don't think it's a function. I'll be honest. I don't think if you had a liberal wife, period, politician or not, you have a normal or healthy functioning relationship. I have seen men who don't wear the pants of the family, and the women generally, though not always, are left or leaning. And I've seen it work. So it can work. I've seen some weapons grade pussy men, like the wife. And I feel bad for the women in defense of them. Holy shit, they don't have like a real masculine men to choose from. It's a bunch of soy boy pussy millennials. So, that's what they got. And someone's got to lead. There's a vacuum of leadership. So I've seen increasingly more and more women take leadership roles. And the husband's just like, oh, okay. Now, if they're walking down the street and an assailant comes by, everyone's dead. So there's that. But, I don't get, hey, your girl's found a nice soy boy and he's sensitive and caring and kind, but can't throw a punch and can't stop a knife attack or doesn't carry a gun because pacifism. Hope you and your kids, they didn't last long, did they? Oh, because the guy killed you all. Oh, if there was only a conservative, libertarian, Republican type of guy there that would have actually fought back. Pacifism. XXC Demon 08, $5. Definitely a very different kind of zombie apocalypse with all these NPCs. I used to call them drones before NPC came out. Yeah, it's sad. There's no real human. I mean, we're talking literally 10% of the population of humans that should even be alive. I'm not advocating everyone go kill themselves. I'm advocating people wake the F up and appreciate the life they got. But the vast majority of people on this planet should just not even be alive because they're irrelevant. They're not even enjoying their own life. They're just watching the Game of Thrones and pointy hair throne chair show. They're watching the Orange is the New Black. They're just. And what do you talk about? I told you guys about that conversation I had with when I had a girlfriend at one time. We went to the fancy place over on the lake. And they talked 10 minutes about the fucking cake. And you're sitting there like, oh my God, it's this frosting and that thing and this type of cake. Where'd you get it? Oh my God, no. Yes. It's like, why are you alive? Like, seriously, why are you taking up oxygen? Just fucking end it. I mean, this can't be fun for you, right? Like, you're talking about frosting. Like this moment in time in your life is the best expenditure of your time is to talk about the nature of the frosting of the cake. Now, That's gotta suck. Just in my mind, that like if I have to think like the most pressing matter in my mind is to talk about the type of frosting on a cake, like a bullet in the head now. My life is miserable. But that's like 90% of the people. Oh my God, did you see what Joe Biden said and the thing and the stuff on the internet with the YouTubes and the Facebook and the Fox News and the CNN and the gay guy who was like the trust fund baby with the Rockefellers, Anderson Cooper? Like, wow, that's your life, huh? Why you here? Like, seriously, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Why you here? I watched the wet ass pussy. Everyone watches the Nicki Minaj gal. Like, do you take inspiration from a song called Wet Ass Pussy? Why are you here? I mean, seriously, just end it. Fucking end it. James, $2. I've been to Fargo. Liked it. Need a restaurant. Yeah. No, Fargo is a nice town too. Free parking, by the way. Although last time I was there was 10 years ago, so maybe not free parking anymore. There is a Chinese restaurant downtown. But yeah, Fargo is just like it is a very small, big town. I know it's the central hub of North Dakota, but it's very small and there's not a lot going on there either. There's also an Air Force base in Fargo, North Dakota. If I had to choose though, I'd prefer Fargo over Sioux Falls. Fargo had a little bit more charm in downtown. Sioux Falls just kind of, there's a downtown area, but they're trying too hard with a bunch of 80s and 70s commercial buildings with banks. It's like, yeah. Fargo kept its old buildings from the 1800s. Fred Freeman saw $2. Minneapolis is always rioting. Shot of Freud for cat. Yep, burn it down. Go burn your leftist neighbor's house or business down. You know, the immigrants that just came here, you know, like they actually escaped true, genuine poverty and horrific environment. Yeah, you know what? Welcome them. Welcome them by burning their fucking falafel house down. Fucking assholes. Oh, and by the way, you guys who started like, we're from a foreign country. Free shit, you say. Democrats, you say. Tell me more. We're going to vote Democrats. Why are they burning my falafel shop down? Did you vote for communist douchebag pieces of shit? Oh, you did. Fuck off. Why don't we make the money? Taekwondo for €2. Cap has been marked by the reptilian overlord. What? Over in Denver International Airport. Scrolling. All right, here we go. James G. Aaron, mixed relationship. We need white collar. Well, I think you need both white collar and blue collar. Is that your question, James? Hey, the only people who do any genuine production are blue collar people, by the way. You think this shit is real GDP? You think me being a schmuck on the internet is like, this is like helping people house themselves and stay warm and feed themselves? I'm a douchebag. Farmers are way better moral people than me. Holy shit. No, you need a little bit of a leadership class. I grant you that, but give me blue collar any day. Even though I've never, I guess, well, okay, I was blue collar when I was younger, you know, obviously. Shoveling shit was not white collar work. Landscaping was not white collar work. But no, give me the tradesman any day. I'll take that. Lee Maxwell for $5. Hey, Cappy, just finished Bachelor Pad Economics to start Curse of the High IQ. I'm curious, why did you decide to move from Minnesota to Dakota? Did you see the riots? Oh, also, did you see the quarter century? I've been here since 1997, so it's a quarter century. Did you see the quarter century of me being blamed for everybody else's problems because I'm a white male? Minnesota can fuck itself with a cactus right up its fucking ass. The Minnesota people are just the biggest bunch of hypocrites and arrogant motherfuckers, and they're getting exactly what they deserve. You didn't see this in the 90s. I came here in the 90s, and I thought Milwaukee was arrogant. I got here, holy fucking shit, Edina Batman. It was horrific. Every piece of shit, and we'll be honest here, generally white people, because Minnesota's predominantly white. You go outside of the city, obviously, you know, Scandinavians, Minnesota, of course. They are so arrogant And they think so highly of themselves. And then you go to the University of Minnesota, which, by the way, is a fucking low-grade campus. Or they go to one of the St. Paul campuses like St. Thomas, St. Kate's, Hamlin, or whatever. It's just the most self-dick-sucking group of society of people the world has ever seen. And they're like, Minnesota proud, and we play hockey. And then all the suburb kids come in to the city. They learn to be Marxists and communists. They come back out to the like, we got to help the minorities in the city. And then the parents, because of Scandinavian, generally speaking, and they're all for socialism. Oh my God, did we not help people enough? Let me cut my veins out more and bleed. And it's just this, and everybody knows they're lying. That's what I really hate about Minnesotans. Because, like, if you actually wanted to help your fellow poor man, doesn't have to be black or Hispanic or anything, but your fellow poor man, you wouldn't lie to their fucking faces to be popular and backstabby. And that's like the Democrat Party in Minnesota. Like, oh, you're oppressed by people in Bloomington. Oh, yeah, it's the white man or the mans or the white people in the suburbs that are keeping you down. And then there's riots. And then, by the way, in defense of fellow black, well, I'm not black, but black people in North Minneapolis and Minneapolitans in general. Okay, there was some rioting. Yeah, it might have happened to be people that happen to be Hispanic or black. You know who fucked up shit? Your SJW fucking pieces of shit from the suburbs, predominantly white. Burning that shit down on Lake Street. Oh, and by the way, it was burning down the shit on Lake Street that was owned predominantly, disproportionately, I should say, by immigrants, recent immigrants. If you go down Lake Street, not to bore you with Minneapolis geography, a lot of Middle Eastern and Hispanic immigrants come in there, and they set up their shops. Why? Because they're industrious. They're happy to be out of the hellhole. What happens? Fucking piece of shit Minnesotans from the suburbs who think they know better start burning their shit down because they're SJWs. They're going to save the world. Minnesota, and then if you want to go out into rural Minnesota, get the who dang diggly do dang digglies out, okay? Because everyone's a freaking moron and getting pregnant as a teenager out there too, right? There is no good people in Minnesota, none. The burning and the looting and the rioting, please continue. You all deserve it. You voted for it. No one holds anyone up to any standards. No one's honest with anybody. And it was like, oh my God, we're going to just burn and rape and pillage. But there, go, do. Don't care. Don't care. And it's the sanctimonious arrogance of the ruling class in Minnesota where they just lie to minorities and just take advantage of that. That's, I think, where I'm most disgusted. Where it's like, hey, you know, and we got our field, we got our team here, you know, like, hey, engineering, everything, regardless of, you know, we're very a-racial here. We're just like, hey, team fucking kick-ass, team fucking STEM, here we go. But the what would we call it? The leadership or the elite class of Minnesota just plays the racial card all the time, and to the detriment of predominantly black people, but Latinos and other people as well. And you could see it. East St. Paul, North Minneapolis. Although South Minneapolis was the one that got burned. It's not good. It's not good. And then the sanctimonious attitude of these fucking cocksuckers from the suburbs. Like, oh, we're just helping out. Look, I care. It's like, no, you don't. You really don't care about your fellow man, let alone your fellow black man. You're just trying to be popular, you fucking Minnesota asshole. Not that I have an opinion. So that's why I'm moving to South Dakota, because we don't burn shit down there. Frankly, because there's not a lot to burn down. There's not a lot. There's nothing out there. I mean, it's pretty sparse. Fred Freeman saw $2. What lurks in the hearts of millennial women? I don't care. I don't care. I guess I hate to say it. It's this sad and pathetic. They probably really yearn for student loan bailout. The most prominent thing, they're not even cognizant of menopause or the point and purpose and reason in life. I think they're just kind of like, oh, I really would like to have my student loans paid off. I think that's as far as the philosophy of millennial women. Your average millennial woman. We have good millennial women. There's some young gals out there. Got a fan mail earlier today. But that's what I think lurks in the hearts of millennial women. I hope I get a student loan bailout. And then once again, ask how great your effing life is, if that's the case. Troy Kostelecki for $2, our Polish agent in the field. We have some Badlands in Utah. They're sweet. Where is that, Troy? Is it like down in the southern half? Because I know you got canyons because of the Green and Colorado rivers, which is the beginning of the Grand Canyon before it goes into Arizona. But I'm trying to figure out where your Badlands are. All of Utah is beautiful, though. I mean, it's just it's a state of mountains is all it is. Fred Freeman Saul, $2. I aced first 2 Python midterms. You tell Atham, hey, look, I sold him for $2. Someone bought him off of me for $2 at a super chat. I said, who wants Atham? And then someone gave me $2. So now that person owns Atham. You go deal with your own Mexican. All right. He's not mine anymore. Dude, I'm going to throw him a party when he graduates. Fred Freeman Saul, $2. I ate at New Palestine restaurant by the U of M in 2019. Is it even open anymore? Middle Eastern food's good. There's a good restaurant over in Vegas, Middle Eastern food. Baklava. Holy cow. Whoever came up with that is a god. Oh, patron saint. Oh, Taekwondo for €2. I meant the tube came for you due to the bug. Right, they did. Yes, they said you were saying things incorrect about toe fungus, which was kind of shocking to me. I'm like, okay. James G. Girlfriend is in banking. We need work for her to do. Okay, good. David 128. But Cappy, Minnesota nice. First Avenue Prince, don't you know? Yeah. It's very sad. I think much as I hate Minnesota, I did get to enjoy the 90s in Minnesota. And Minneapolis was a very great place to be. We did have First Avenue. We did have Prince. Glam Slam was his other nightclub that he had. There was a genuine culture. So I did have, but now 20 years later, there's nothing. It's just a gutted out, hollow piece of shit. I mean, and it was sad because you could go to Minneapolis and there was like Neiman Marcus and you had some high-end restaurants or not restaurants, retailers. There was architecture and build, but it's still there. But Dayton's is gone. I think Neiman Marcus is gone. Hey, you want to be a bunch of Marxist leftist thieves with crime and shit and burning and loot? Even Brit's Pub is gone, which was an anchor. That was like where all the dude bros went out. I went there in my 20s because I thought that's where I should go. But it's all over. It's all over. Whatever. Lee's Liquor Lounge, Liquor Lyle's. Mark my words, Sebastian Joe's is going next, which is right across the street from Liquor Lyle's or where Liquor Lyle's was. It's all over. It is all over. And it's sad because there was a little bit of a culture. There was. But, hey, Marxism and leftism and that fucking pussy mayor they got. What a worthless piece of shit. Black Rednecks and White Liberals by Thomas Sowell is the book for you. Really? Okay. Maybe I'll have to read. Hey, look at this guy. Who's this schmuck? Who is this guy? I want to move to the Twin Cities and become a leftist. Just stay in Chicago and be a leftist. You'll be more popular. And the girls will want to suck your peen. Okay? There you go. We have our regular New Zealand agent in the field, and that is not his wife. That is his sister, who is not a redhead, apparently. For 10, what is the New Zealand? Am I getting like screwed here? Hang on. NZD to USD. $0.71. All right, so like $7. All right. I got $7. Now the girl is not his wife, it's his sister. Just giving my Fifi's cap, Chris Cornell, looking California, feeling Minnesota. There is doubt about Chris's demise. Love to you and the lads. Who's Chris Cornell? Hang on, let me look up Chris Cornell. Singer, songwriter, musician. Oh, he died. Suicide by hanging. Oh, Jesus. Soundgarden grunge heavyweight. Oh, grunge people committed suicide? Say it ain't so. I think I did a Cleary test on this guy. And he was actually somewhat accomplished, obviously. Yeah, and he killed himself. I think he didn't have a father. That's all right. Single moms unite. Lived in North Dakota, Minnesota. Does race matter in San Francisco or Rapid City? Chicago? Oh, Rapid City. Sioux Falls. No, it really doesn't. Because it's predominantly white people. It's a monoculture, monoethic, whatever. I don't know if you noticed, but we don't give a shit about race. We got other important things to do. Rapid City, there is a fair amount of Indian reservations nearby. If not the poorest one is Pine Ridge, which is to the southeast by about 80 miles. And that's horrible, man. It's sad. Every once in a while, you'll have, there'll be some panhandlers come from the reservation, but that's about it. But it's very stark. Like when you cross into an Indian reservation, like, okay, I'm the only white guy here because obviously mostly Indians. And I don't know the economics of it yet. Like there's a couple there's the Rosebud reservation, there's the Pine Ridge, and there's another one in Eagle Butte. And Eagle Butte looks to be pretty good because everyone's got farming and land and all. The Rosebud one looks pretty good too. So I think it's predominantly they're just farmers, agriculture type of people. But Pine Ridge is a shithole. And they had a casino, but that I guess they had embezzling or something like that. So that got shut down. That was their one shot. But I'd have to study it more to figure out why. I guarantee you it's socialism and leftism, and that's why it's poor. But there's actually some successful Indian reservations over in South Dakota, but they're so far. South Dakota is a big state. It's like 400 miles wide, and it's like the next town is 50 miles over. So it's not like you're in the East Coast where it's like, oh, there's a town every 20 miles. But yeah, there really isn't a lot of race stuff going on in Rapid City. My unit girlfriend, Fred Freeman Sowell, lived at 5th Avenue South in 5th, now a New York City liberal. Well, good for her. I'm sure she's miserable and she's blaming other people for her problems. $2 from Fred again. Want to join Chad and me at the BLM rally this weekend? No, I don't. I didn't want to work today. I was going to have a day off because I did 10 days hard labor over in South Dakota, like just running errands and getting the house done and everything. And it doesn't end. I have to. The girlfriend's like, can I come home for noon? No, don't come home at noon. I have work to do. Really? The money just doesn't fall out of the sky? Carlos Acosta, $2. Cappy, have you watched The Jolly Heretic, Dr. Ed D? No, I haven't. I had a piece of paper. I'd write it down. I'll just type it here. Jolly Heretic. Okay. Got it. No, I'll take a look at that, Carlos. Thank you. I presume he's a podcaster or something. Nonstop Dre, the miraculous black penis man, for $2. Why did you choose South Dakota over Nevada or Florida? Well, just so you know, I do have the Southern Command in Nevada. So I do go there. Okay, let me explain it this way, Dre. South Dakota is very personal to me. It was the closest mountain range. And this goes back to when I was a little kid. We're talking like 5 years old. And I saw mountains in a book, probably an encyclopedia. And my dad, he drove the buses out in Glacier National Park. So we saw pictures. And mountains were this foreign concept to me as a 3-year-old, 5-year-old child. I'm like, what's up there? Your mind wanders. You're a little kid. And I just desperately wanted to go out west. Well, it wasn't until I was 30 years old before I actually had the time. It wasn't time and money. It was just me saying, fuck this shit. I'm sick and tired of working hard. That's where I kind of threw off the boomer yoke and went out west. But the first mountain range you find in the west, unless you're a little bit south, in which case you either hit Albuquerque or you hit Denver, which is the Canadian Rockies, because it's all flat until that point in time. But since I live in the north, Wisconsin, the first area you hit with mountains is Rapid City, South Dakota, in the Black Hills. They're not big mountains, like I said before, but they were manageable. Like the Rockies run all the way from Mexico to Alaska. There's no, it's indigestible. But the Black Hills is this like separate spur of a mountain range that you can hike and travel and go and do, and you're not 10,000 feet up gasping for air. And so it was, and then Rapid City is a nice, adequate enough sized town. It's nothing spectacular about Rapid City either. It's just, they got 2 Walmarts. It's functional, there's restaurants. And that's what drove me there. Now, Florida, very nice. Don't get me wrong. Flatter than fuck. Nothing to do. I mean, you better like fishing or swimming or eating a lot of food at chain restaurants, because that's all Florida is. There's nothing going on in Florida. Motorcycle riding is dangerous because all the old people don't know how to drive. It's true. They don't know how to drive. So Florida is a great place to retire when you're about to die because it's warm. Nevada, I like Nevada because Rapid City, you get to ride my motorcycles and hike and everything. It's just don't be there in July. That's basically it. It's Atham will deck you. Oh, look, I thought I sold you. Didn't I sell you to somebody else, Atham? $2.01. Was DT a good host? I heard you stayed at this place. No, DT was not a good host. You can't see, Atham. Let me explain white people to you. I'll explain white people to our Latino agents in the field. Let me explain white people to you. All right, see, if you're a Gen Xer or an older millennial, it is absolutely imperative, if you want to be a real American, is you buy a house with a guest room, but have nobody stay in it. Okay? You got to make sure, you get a big house with a guest room, dedicated guest room, but nobody can stay in it. That's why that's when you've truly achieved true American whiteness, is when you have a house with a guest room that nobody stays in. Unlike Mr. and Mrs. Elkins, who are more than happy. They have an actual guest suite. They don't have just a room. They have a guest suite. It's got its own bathroom and everything. Like, you can stay here whenever you want. I'm like, I'm usually on my way to Albuquerque Adams, but I'm going to spend a day or two with them so that house can get some use. But for God's sake, whatever you do, in addition, if you really want to be a white American, I'll tell you how you do it. Okay. Not only do you get a house with a guest room that no one can stay in, you need to major in stupid shit. Okay. You need to cripple yourself financially for the rest of your life, majoring in stupid shit. Now you have obviously failed. You were majoring in chemical engineering. You're not being a good standard American white person. I'm terribly sorry. You have failed in that regard. Now, if you could ask for some bailout money, you probably work a real job too. You got to stop that. You got to stop. You got to like just loaf. That basically be the verb to describe Americans. You loaf. And you fall on the hammock and everybody else takes care of you. Oh. Fred, $2. Your work aversion is just your white male privilege. Dude, it's not work aversion. I love work. Because Chris Beckloff said the only thing worse than not having a job. I'm sorry. The only thing worse than having a job is not having a job. Yeah. Once the candy and puppies and unicorns wear off as a young man in the video games, you get used to, you're like, well, what else is there in life? Well, it's work and doing something value of society. You're like, yeah, that's about it. James G, $2. I do like that mountain areas get more sunshine. Yeah, I guess so. I didn't think about that. Juan, the Aztec patriarch, for $5. I'm taking you up for the Vegas invitation. Don't flake like Rolo. Well, wait till I'm there. It'll be wintertime. But yeah, come out, Juan. Absolutely. Hit me up. All right. We got one more Fred Freeman saw move to Winnetka for peak white laziness, new Trier. I haven't been to Winnetka in years, man. I know I drove past it on my way from Chicago to Milwaukee, but I haven't. I don't think I've even pulled off. I know I did one of the rare times I had a black girl as a date. Kim. Cute as a button. I liked her. And we did the North Shore Drive. We drove all the way up and we cut through Winnetka back to the interstate. We were in my convertible. We went to a mall. Actually, she's like, oh, can we stop at the mall? I'm like, yeah, if you want to get something. Yeah, I like Kim. She was nice. Hope she's doing well. All right, that's it. Questions, answers, asshole consult. Oh, wait. Carlos Acosta. $5. I'm a Cuban refugee who came at 9. Hey, you got out, man. You got out. Raul's still down there, huh? Have a chemical engineering degree and trying to finish one in computer science. Had ketamine? Commies protest me at the FSU College Libertarians. Yeah, well, did you tell them how communism works? Did they? Why do I hate Minnesotans? They're hypocrites. The suburbanites spoiled little pieces of shit that live off of capitalism and all the production and the engineering and the work and the toil and the technology. They have everything paid for. Then they go to college like, oh, I think I know better at 18 years old. And then here's you coming from a genuine communist fucking country. You're like, holy shit, don't do that. Fuck you. I'm from, if you're at FSU, what would be a neighborhood? What would be a snooty area? Like Jupiter, California? What's FS? Is FSU over in what's it called? St. Petersburg? I'm just saying, having some elitist, spoiled little brat who never had to work, didn't suffer, coming in and lecturing you about communism. There's why I hate Minnesota. That's why I hate Minnesota. There are no good people in Minnesota. None. All right, that's it. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. See you guys later. Toodles.